Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So in this video, I want to actually discuss, it's not my theory, it's a theory I found on Reddit, and I found it very interesting, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But essentially, it talks about the lyrics of the song Max is listening to before she takes a picture of the owl. And after going through it, I think there might be something to it, but then again I could be reading too much into it. But I did want to discuss what the lyrics of the song are and talk about what this guy wrote. So this guy, Nihilist Stylist, I'll just call him Nihilist for short, he talks about how, he starts off with saying how songs for Life is Strange, some of them do tend to get written for each game, and the lyrics of the songs foreshadow certain events such as character motivations and themes. And he is right. A lot, if you go back and you listen to the music after you finish the game, like really listen, you can be like, oh yeah, there's some this song has more context to it now that I have the full picture of the game. So Nihilist has done his best to listen to the lyrics, and I thought I would go over with them what the lyrics are and talk about my theories. So the song goes, "If I imagine I can't recall exactly how you came into my life at all, seems you always existed there, just waiting to suddenly appear. Call me crazy, but I know that's everything I know. Call the anthem and promise me that's what you want. If I'm dreaming, please don't wake me up. Died through you, deep rue in me. I'd swim in oceans, swim overseas. I'd make no difference how far I'd go, 'cause I'd find you in the road. Call me crazy." And right there, "Call Me Crazy" is where the song cuts out because Max takes a photo of the owl. After the lyrics, Nihilist goes on to explain that you could apply a lot of it to Suffy, as after her death, Max finds a way to see her again in a parallel reality. But I like what his theory about Chloe and the song is what he writes later on here, and I do like what he's put, and I'd like to share it with you and my thoughts. He writes, "But I find it interesting that the part of the story that interrupts the song is Max's traumatic vision with dialogue that matches the storm from the first Life is Strange, and that vision has a voice calling out Max's name where the voice is potentially Chloe." Now some people say it's Sophie and some people say it's Chloe. I don't know, it's a bit like muddled for me to pinpoint whose voice it is. But moving on. So it feels like the song could very much serve as Max's feelings about Chloe. The lyrics feel applicable to Chloe, and the song is interrupted by a potential flashback that involves Chloe. So might the song be hinting at a role for Chloe? If she were to appear in the game in some fashion in a moment that's surprising, the line about a dear person that's just waiting to suddenly appear would be neat foreshadowing. Similarly, if the Bay ending Max were to somehow interact with a still living Chloe, the line of "If I'm dreaming, please don't wake me up" would also tie into that quite well. Of course, there are likely other ways to interpret the song, but as it seems it was potentially written specifically for Double Exposure's story, I imagine the lyrics are quite telling us a bit about the game's themes. And as I already find the song pretty and sentimental yet melancholy, it's quite intriguing to think through the lyrics. Now, symbolism has been a big part of the Life is Strange, specifically revolving around animals and how certain characters in the games have similar personality traits to said animals. So having lyrics be symbolize and foreshadow events of the game is very interesting as well. If we remember the doe from Life is Strange, Max saw it in the first episode towards the very end, and then it was there again in the second episode when she was dreaming, and it ended up disappearing when Max and Chloe found Rachel's body. So to me, it makes sense that if Life is Strange can use animals as symbolism and representing people and showing and foreshadowing certain events of the game, why does this concept have to be restricted to animals? Can't it go to other things such as music? I remember, what one was it? Final Destination 3, it was a horror movie where characters were being killed off. There was a certain song that kept playing when death was coming around a few times. It wasn't all the time, but that was foreshadowing. When you heard that song, it'd be like, okay, yep, something bad's gonna happen. Now, as this is not my theory, I don't want to delve too deep into it because it feels like I'm just copywriting someone else's. I like to come up with my own theories. And also, if any of you have theories, I'll give you a shout out and comment on them. But I'll leave a link in the description below so you can read it. And I definitely want your thoughts on what you think about this. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.